Hi everybody, welcome back to Zinnia's motherfucking world. You guys already know what's about to go on. We're about to do a story time, but before we get into that, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. I'm just happy that you're here, you're listening, and you're taking in what I'm saying. With that being said, I will see you guys in the video. So if you guys have been watching me for a couple weeks or like a month or two, or no, not even a couple weeks, let me stop lying. If you guys have been watching me for a year, gang gang, you know what I mean? Thank you for watching, thank you for being here. But if you have been here for a year, when I was making videos, kind of sort of 2021 me, 19-year-old me making videos, I kept on continuously making YouTube videos about a situation that I was in, a very bad heartbreak. When I was making those videos, I was in nothing but sadness. So how I was telling it was very distraught. I would then post a video and delete it. And then I would post it again and then delete it. Because I felt like I was saying too much, or I was saying too little, or I was just like genuinely not giving what happened justice. And I don't like that. Now that it's like a year later, almost 2 years later, because in next July would be 2 years since I left that person, and December of next month will be the last time I've ever seen them or came in contact with that person. Let's cross our fingers that I will never have to come in contact with them again. But I really just want to spread awareness. Well, I'm not over here crying. I don't feel sad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys like in just an emotional state, because now it's a year later. I'm over it. I'm done with it. But I still want to bring awareness. Just so you guys know, I'm going to take down my other video that I had up. I think I made this video like in February or March of me talking about the situation, just little itsy bits and pieces, because now I'm just going to tell you guys the full entire thing. Okay, now, so this is all going to connect to the 2021 story. No, the 2020 story. I apologize. 2020, I was going through a lot. I told you guys that in my 2020 series. I didn't get to get the third part out, but I was going through a lot in 2020. Once it hit that August to January mark, I felt like I was dissociating from life. I cut myself off from relationships, situations, anything, men, nobody. I was not in love. I wasn't in a relationship. I was nothing. I was just floating. I was in the earth. I was not here. I was not mentally there, if you guys know what I mean. So since I was not mentally there, I wasn't in no relationships. I was with nobody, if I have not made that clear already. I started to get like very FOMO of relationships, and I felt like I started to cut myself off of relationships. At this time, I thought I was healing. I thought I was in this like, I'm healing, trying to become a better person. That's when I started to get more into manifestation. But I wasn't too deep into it. I was just manifesting. And I was thinking because I had crystals, I was a better person. And because of that, I started to be like, maybe it's time to date again. Maybe it's time to date. So with that being said, in January, I start to look for somebody to be with. Again, you're seeing the theme now. Everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Zinnia? Why do you keep doing this to yourself? When I start to become very sexual, you know, where I'm just like, well, I have not touched a man in a while. Because that was me at 19 years old. I said, I have not touched a man in a while. Let's go find somebody. So I went back on the dating apps. And when I went on the dating apps for 2 weeks straight, I was just scrolling and I was trying to find somebody. Everybody was just very weird. I was being very picky. I even ended up hitting up the guy I lost my virginity to, because I was just trying to find anybody to sleep with and peace out on. Because at this time, my insecurities were very high. I didn't feel like I was beautiful. I didn't feel like I was deserving of a relationship. I did not even want to be with anyone, period. So I just said, if I'm sexual with somebody, no relationship, no nothing, I'm good. You know what I mean? Wrong answer. So then one day, this guy, I just swiped on him. He super liked me, so I swiped on him. He only had 2 pictures up. They were very they were very blurry, and then one was clear. You know, like, it was like a clearish blurry. So it was like, he's okay looking, and I don't know. So then, once I swiped on him, 20 minutes later, this man is gonna text me and say, hey, you want to hang out today? And then I was like, he's not ugly, but he's not cute, but he also is giving me this opportunity to hang out with him. So I'm like, I'm gonna hang out with him. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. Who cares? I didn't care. So I was at work and I said, okay, what time do you want to hang out? I said, I get off at 6. He said, okay. I said, okay, let's meet up at 7. He's like, okay. So right then and there, bam, boom, we set up a date that we were going to hang out. We went to the movie theaters, right? So me coming home from work, I then get into an argument with my little sister because she had boys over. So I remember I went to go find her around the apartments. This was before he came to pick me up. And I seen her with guys and I was cussing her the fuck out. Like, I was getting so mad at her that I wasn't looking at who I was texting, and I accidentally text him when I was supposed to text my mom, just going off on my mom because I'm like, I don't want to tell you what I was saying. It's very mean. Just telling her to be a better mom, because why the fuck is this happening right now? So I sent it to him on accident. And that should have been a really big indicator that, bitch, you should have left him there. But no, I didn't take it as a red flag. He didn't care about it. So we're texting and he's like, do you want to meet there, or do you want to no, I say, do you want to meet there, or are you going to pick me up? And he's like, you don't have a car. And I said, no, I don't have a car. And he put LOL. And then he just came to pick me up. Once I got in his car, it was very awkward. But me being the person I am, I'm like, hey, what's up? My name's Ania. Just giving him the rundown of who I am, asking him questions. The first red flag was he invited me on the date. He's the first one who said, let's go out. We stopped at the QT. I said, let's go get some snacks since we're watching a movie. We stopped at the QT. This man does not get out. He doesn't get out the car. He doesn't walk out. He doesn't attempt to be like, oh, I'll go in with you. Just parks the car and says, okay, and leaves out. We then drive to the movie theaters, and once we get into the movie theater line, I'm just trying not to say, oh, I'll pay for my own ticket. I was trying to see what he was gonna do. Mind you, basically he was looking at me when he paid for the tickets, and I said, I have cash. I'll give you the cash to pay for my ticket. Second red flag. We get into there and there's multiple people calling his phone, and he looks at the phone and then he puts it down and he doesn't look at it again. He then looks at the phone again and it's mom calling. He answers, starts saying, Mom, I'm out with a friend, just telling her all of this stuff. And I'm just thinking, oh, it's his mom keeps calling his phone. Hang on to that. It's his mom calling his phone. So I'm just like, okay. Then we obviously get into business, right? Because that's what we were both there for. We get into the back seat, we just, you know what I mean? We doing stuff. And in the middle of us doing stuff, he starts to tell me, I want you. And he's like, I want you. While he's doing this. And I'm saying, what? He's like, do you want me? And I said, what do you mean? We're in the middle of doing stuff. So obviously I'm like, what do you mean? And then he's like, I want you. I want to be with you. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just very bamboozled because I just met you not even today, a couple hours before this happened. And you're already telling me that you wanted me. Another red flag. And I was just like, oh, he likes me. And in my brain, I'm like, city girls up. Hey, made a fall in love on the first link. Not fucking true. Let me tell you this. If a man, if you sit in a fucking car with a man and have sex with him and then he tells you that he wants to be with you on the first date, he's love bombing you, love. This is why I'm telling this story, so that you guys can know what is going on. So sorry. So I'm like, hey, okay. But then I tell him, I don't want to be in a relationship right now, but since you are saying that you like me, we'll see where this goes. And he's just like, no, like, and I'm telling him, like, you got to show me through your actions that you want to be with me. I don't want you to just keep saying that you want to be with me. You got to show me that you want to be with me. And he's like, well, I'm going to show you I want to be with you because I want to be with you. I like you. And he's being very, like, consistent. Like, I like you. I want to be with you. So he takes me home, and again, I give him money for that. And then I make him pay for my Jack in the Box, but in reality, I remember I paid him back for my Jack in the Box on top of me giving him that, right? I get home and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, first link up, and he just like really likes me and he wants to be with you. Mind you guys, I feel so insecure at this time. I hate myself. I don't like the way I look. I feel like I'm ugly. I feel like I'm disgusting. I do not genuinely love myself. And coming into the situation and now realizing who I was at the time is that I was such an easy target because I was so insecure and I did not like myself. I did not love myself, because if that was another girl, she would have been like, fuck no, no. So I tell him that I have never seen snow before. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna take you up to Flagstaff. I'm gonna take you to see snow. So we're texting each other, and he's just telling me like he wants to be with me. I'm telling him, don't use me for my body. He's like, I'm not using you for your body. Like, I really like you and I want to show you. So he says Thursday he'll take me out to go to Flagstaff. Mind you, I think this was like a Thursday. This was Thursday. So Monday he's telling me that he likes me and all this stuff. Then on Tuesday, we hang out again, and this time, like, I'm starting to get very anxious because, mind you, at the time my codependency was super duper bad. So I'm starting to get like really anxious because he wasn't texting me or calling me, but come to find out his phone was not on because it went dead while he was at work, but he still came to get me. He comes to get me, and this was another red flag that I should have just been like, why the fuck did he do that? He got food for his family. Mind you, his family was like 4 of them. Right? And he got a whole bunch of food for them. He picked it up while I was going to his house to spend the night because we were hanging out that day. We get to his house, he goes into the kitchen, and he leads me upstairs to his room. He comes into the room with a whole bunch of wings on his plate. And after eating all of the food, smacking on his fingers in front of me, he only has 2 left, and he says, oh, did you want one? So I said, yeah, sure, I'll take one. So I took one and he ate the other one. Mind you, it was like, why the fuck didn't you ask me to get me food in the first place? Again, I shouldn't have let that slide, but I let the shit slide. So again, we obviously are doing stuff. He's telling me he likes me. He wants to be with me. I'm just telling him, like, I don't want to be in a relationship, but I want to see where this goes. Because if we do know that we like each other, then maybe we can be together. So boom. Now it's Wednesday. We're still talking and conversating about going to Flagstaff on Thursday. Thursday comes and he comes to pick me up. Mind you, my mom just got in a really sticky situation that was really stressing me out because I had to basically get money, accumulate money to bail my mother out. So I was just in a very bad mental state when I was going to Flagstaff with him, but I was like, it's okay, I'll just go. I'll just go. So we're driving to Flagstaff, and I paid for the gas, and then I pumped the gas too. I think I said, oh, I'll get the gas and I'll pump it to him, and he didn't even stop me. He didn't give a fuck. He was just like, okay. So I pumped the gas, and I paid for the gas, got in the car, and sorry, people are DMing me. Got in the car, we're driving all the way to Flagstaff. I'm laughing with him, and we're talking, we're giggling, but I'm giggling, and he's just like, are you always happy in the morning? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's just like, why are you so happy right now? So I'm just very confused because this nice guy who was just being nice to me for consecutive 4 days was now becoming very like mean and passive aggressive. So I stopped talking. And then he's like, why did you stop talking? I'm like, because you said you don't like when I laugh or when I'm happy. So now we're still driving and we get to Flagstaff. This is when the weird stuff started happening. He would go on his phone and he would talk to girls, click on their Snapchats, text them back right in front of me. No care. But mind you, I only knew him for 4 days, so I just passed it off. Like, I don't care. I don't care what he's doing on his phone. We then get to Flagstaff and we take pictures together. And I remember sending the photos to my mom, like, this is him. And we're just, I feel like I'm happy. But I didn't have a fun experience because I felt like he was not paying that much attention to me. He was more paying attention to his phone. So this is when I started to put in my head, oh, maybe if I was having sex with him, he would be happy. He would be more happy to be around me. Or he would want, you know, maybe he would get more excited if I was sexual with him. So I remember we left, like, not even only being there for 40 minutes, 30 minutes at best. 30 minutes. I'm just saying 40 minutes to say 40 minutes, but 30 minutes. We get in the car and we go home. And on the way home, I'm just like, start to open up about him. My mom is in a sticky situation. And he's just telling me, oh, if I was in that situation, I would never do that. I would never do that if that was me. And I'm just telling him, like, why are you being so unsensitive, like not even being sensitive to how I'm feeling and what I'm going through right now. But I pushed it off. I brushed it off again. We got back to Phoenix and then he's like, yeah, what else are we going to do right now? Because basically we paid we only were there for like 4 hours, 2 hours there, 30 minutes there, 2 hours back. Mind you, while we were in Flagstaff, I paid for his breakfast because I didn't eat. I couldn't eat. Mentally, this is when I started to feel the trauma bond because I remember I bought his food and I went to the car and I started crying. I said, what am I doing wrong? And that was my first biggest mistake because that's when I started to really realize what's wrong with me. Am I a horrible person? Why doesn't he like me anymore? Why is he treating me like this now? He went from wanting to be with me so bad to questioning and asking me why I'm laughing so much. Right? I started to question myself. So then, obviously, again, we're driving back. He says the stuff about my mom, and then we went to AMC. We go to the movies. He's doing wheelies in the parking lot, and we're singing Brent Fayos together. And I remember, again, another red flag was this moment was the moment that I clung onto whenever he would do horrible things to me. This was the moment that I said, well, we do have good times. Guess what? That moment that I'm talking about was the same day of the Flagstaff. I paid for the gas. I paid for us to get there. I paid for us to eat. We got there. I had to tell him, well, I can't pay for our movie tickets and our food. So you had to pick one. He paid for the movie tickets while I paid for food. And he was spinning wheelies. And then we parked and he was singing songs to me where I thought that me and him were in love. This was love. And this is when I started to like him. And he knew that I liked him because this is when he started to treat me bad. When he knew that he had me. He had me there already. He had me there. Why did he have to keep on trying? Because he already had me there. I don't want this freaking video to go all along, but I'm going to stop it when we went to the movies again. Okay. So then a couple of days went by and we were scheduled to see each other again so that we can go to the movies to go see the new King Kong versus, I was about to say Glorilla. I was about to say King Kong versus Glorilla. No, Godzilla. King Kong versus Glorilla. No, Godzilla. And we went to go see Godzilla versus King Kong. And we get to the movie theaters, we go sit down, we get back into the car, and obviously, like, the movie was only 2 hours, and he's like, what else do you want to do? He has work the next day, so I'm kind of just like, I don't know what else to do. I have, like, a lake we could go to just to sit by, and we could just talk, because that's usually where I went with my friends. Mind you, we were in Goodyear. That's usually where I went with my friends, where we used to, like, just sit by this lake, because it was really pretty at nighttime, and it was just like very fun to be around. So we start driving to that lake, and I'm playing music. I'm happy. I'm trying to show him, tell him the directions, and he's like, why is the music so loud? Why, like, what's wrong? So I turn off the music, and I'm directing him. And then he goes, why is the music off? Why aren't you talking? And I say, well, because you just told me stop talking. You just told me to turn the music off. And now you want me to turn the music back on and start talking to you again. It was always just this push and pull, but it was like he didn't see it as like him doing anything. It was just as him, I don't know how to explain it. So we get to the lake, and again, he's just complaining the entire time. Oh, I don't want to be here. I have work in the morning. And then again, this is when it comes into my head. Maybe the reason why he doesn't want to be around me is because I'm not being sexual with him. And this was the thing. So then I say to him, like, hey, like, maybe we could stay here. And I started rubbing on his thigh, and he was like, got really excited and was like, oh, okay. He turns around the car so we could go back to the lake so that we could park. We then start to get into it. I'm on my period. I can't do nothing, but I start to go down on him. He already seems very uninterested in what I'm doing. So I start going down on him, and I look up, and he's on his phone. He's on his phone swiping on Instagram while I'm doing this. And it made me feel so horrible, where I was like, let's just go home. So I got up and said, let's just go home. I don't want to do this no more. And he starts driving me to my house. And all I could think of is, fuck him. Why is he doing that to me? But that's not the truth. That's not what I was thinking of. What I was thinking of is, I hope he doesn't stop talking to me because of this. Even though this man violated me, disrespected me, the only thing I could think in my head is, I hope he does not stop talking to me when he drops me off. We then drive to get gas that I paid for. And he's pumping gas, and he looks at me and he says, don't worry, I'm not going to stop talking to you because of this. It wasn't a sorry. It wasn't, I apologize. It was, I'm not going to stop talking to you because of this. And that's where I'm going to stop the story, because that's when everything starts to go downhill. Okay. That was a little bit like, okay. Maybe we should stop talking about that. But no, you guys, I love you guys. I'm going to try to have all of these parts out before the end of the month, and I'm gonna do Vlogmas next month, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that, and I love you guys. Bye.